Welcome in to Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside John Epps. Jerel Hendricks back on the board as always. And boys, we are back. Football season is almost here. We are here tonight, John, for our 1A, 2A, and SCISA season preview show. And man, I cannot wait to get this thing rolling.
Yeah, it's going to be here before you know it. Practice is already going on. Pads are already popping. We're very close now.
Yeah, got some scrimmages in last night, a couple more tonight. Got some jamborees this weekend. Man, going to be a fun couple of weeks as we get a little bit more smack talk in before the season gets rolling here. But as always, guys, be sure to follow us here on Facebook, on Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains. Our website, movinchains.com. Podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Also, get your Movin the Chains merch. Lots of great stuff for you guys. Order a hat today. Nice Richardson hat, black, gray, whatever you want. We got multiple options there. Some really nice shirts, a nice t-shirt for you. You can email us as you see on the screen or send us a DM on social media. That's fine too. Hoodies as well, kind of a heather gray. We've also got kind of a wider version as well. Get that for those cold weather games there. Really high quality stuff, really comfortable. Message us. Love to have you support the boys. And also right now we've got some stickers. Put it on your car, put it on your laptop, whatever you want to do. Moving the Chain stickers, $3. That includes shipping. I mean, come on, help the boys out, support the brand. Order yours today. DM us, send us an email, whatever's better for you. Love to have you repping us, supporting us by using some of our stuff there. John, Jerel as well. I know we mentioned this is our first show of the season, man. We're super excited to get this rolling. We've got the preseason polls are out. Not our polls. I want to make sure we clarify that. We don't necessarily agree with them, but they will give us some good, I guess, starting points for the conversation. But, Jerel, before we get into some of this, any comments from the viewers we want to shout out right quick as we get rolling here in 2025? Chris says, what's up, fellas? Ready for the season? Chris, appreciate you, buddy. Look forward to talking about your Batesburg-Leesville Panthers here in a little bit. Brandon says time for Clinton to go back-to-back. Another fun team we'll mention here in the 2A ranks in just a bit. J-Dog, good to see you, man. Thank you for joining us here on Moving the Chains. Alec, appreciate you hopping in as well. Alec, it's going to be a fun night here. Zach said, let's go. Been too long. Big Red Machine ready to run it back this year. They got some talent again, John. They really do. Coach Fountain's bunch will be a tough out for anyone this season. Kevron, appreciate you, buddy. As always, joining us. Go Great Collegiate, he says. We'll talk about them tomorrow in the 4A. Tyler, we are so back, man. Big show tonight. Big show tomorrow. Tomorrow night, 3A, 4A, 5A season previews as well. Anything else, Jerel? I'm going to assume not. Okay, John, let's take a look at the 1A ranks. Let's run through that poll we talked about. We'll list that out, list out some teams receiving votes, and give kind of our thoughts on some of these teams after you get through that poll.
Yeah, so we've got a tie at 10. Getting a little extra love here for week 0. Hannah, Pamplico, and Latta. We've got Johnsonville at 9. Blackville, Hilda at 8. Hunter, Kenner, Tyler at 7. Lamar at 6. Bamberg, Earhart at 5. Lakeview at 4. Louisville at 3, getting 1 first-place vote. Cross, number 2, they've got 3 first-place votes. And number 1, to no surprise, 13 first-place votes, the Abbeville Panthers.
Abbeville, your state champ from last year in their first year down in 1A. A really good team as well. Again, this year, Darius Riley, the brothers, Jaden and Jalen Baylor there for Coach Nichols are going to be a fantastic group. That 2-spot Cross, John, an intriguing team as well. A team that played for that title last year out of Lower State. Caden Ramsey, a do-it-all athlete. He's got a South Carolina offer. Has not committed anywhere yet, but he is certainly looking around. Mekhi Green at running back. 7 starters back on both sides of the football. That's big for a 1A team. Means you got a lot of experience. You're going to have a lot of pieces that have played a lot of football. They will be fun. Louisville has been a great team the past couple years. They lose some of the names, like a Zach Rogers, a DeAdrian Robinson, but you got guys back like Jordan Strong and Jacorian Howes. What can Coach Usher do there? And year 2 is ahead, man. But John, who are some of the teams that kind of jump out to you out of that top 10 poll there?
Yeah, I really am. I'm not surprised, and I think it's deserved seeing Lakeview in the top 4. Mm-hmm. Last year for the Wild Gators, it was kind of the coming out or coming back party, I should say, for Lakeview. And it's good to see them get some preseason respect. They deserve it. They had a really good run last year, And I think Lakeview, they're going to be they're going to be right there. I don't know if we're going to see a whole lot of movement down, at least for Lakeview.
Yeah, and a fun story about Lakeview. So they lost a decent bit of seniors, but as you know, they've always got talent there. Linebacker Landon King is back. Listen to this. This is a story you only get in the lower levels, like a 1A football. Chase Price moves from starting center last year to starting quarterback this year. You don't see that anywhere else. I love that for Chase Price, man. A guy that obviously, playing the center position, you kind of run the offense there. You run a lot of the checks on the line, and now you're just doing it from the quarterback spot. So pretty cool story there for Coach King's Wild Gators. Bamberg Earhart, a team that's always got talent there. Love Marcus King, love Jalen McGraw. Coach Crosby has got that thing rolling in a good direction. Lamar, new coach Tyler Boyd, a familiar name down there. Head coach J.R. Boyd, his father won multiple titles there back in the day. Tyler won one as well, playing for him. He's been the coach at Williamsburg the past couple of years, took them to some state title games. He comes over now to take over the Silver Foxes. Quarterback Zori Pierce is a guy that's, I think, a 3-year starter now. Maybe he can be a 4-year starter. A great athlete, really good with the ball in his hands. He's going to be a lot of fun, along with Nigel Eady as a weapon. The word for Lamar, I think, is they're a little bit thin up front right now. Can they develop some depth there? Can they find some pieces to fill those slots? But they're always a tough team. We know you feel like Lamar, you can roll the ball out and win 7-8 games a year. So I'm sure they will be just fine as well this season.
And keep in mind, this Lamar team, they got knocked out by Abbeville in the playoffs. That was a 10-point game.
Yeah, played Abbeville as close as anybody did in the playoffs, for sure. For sure. I do want to bring this up, John. We mentioned that these aren't our polls. We don't necessarily agree with them, but I was looking at it today, and there's, I guess, technically 11 teams in the top 10 because there was a tie at 10th there. Besides 6 of the names, I don't want to say which 6, I wrote too high. So I don't know if that means that I think the poll is that bad, or if I'm worried that there's just not enough good teams in 1A. I just worry that after the top 3 or 4, there might be a big fall off. What do you think about the depth of that class this year?
I think it's better than normal. I look at Johnsonville at number 9. They had a little bit of a down year last year, but we talk about this every year. Once the playoffs come around, boy, they show up. And they were a tough out for Lakeview in the second round last year. I mean, that's a tough number 9 team right there.
And they brought a lot of guys back. They were really young last year. They had played for state 2 years in a row going into last season, had lost a lot of those guys. A lot of youngsters played, and they're back this year. Larkin Powell, Jameer Ross, Ty McFadden, some pieces that have played a lot of football for Coach Cribb there.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty impressive list. I was very high on Hunter Kenner Tyler last year.
Yep.
They had a really good run for a while. Lamar, they are, as you were saying, with Pierce back, they got a lot of talent. Mm-hmm. And for them to be the number 6 team in the state, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Bamberg Earhart, they deserve a top 5 ranking, year in, year out. They're always tough. And then the top 4, they're really, really good too. I think Lakeview's got a ton of upside. You look at Louisville, 3 might be a little bit high for me, for Louisville right there, but they've been very good. They went to the Upper State Championship last year. Mm-hmm. That's warranted. I get it. Cross has got as much talent as anybody in 1A. And then obviously you got Abbeville there. I think there's a lot of talent. I mean, really, I'd say 1 through 7, I think has got a ton of talent. And then you look at, Blackville Hill, Johnsonville, Hannah, Pamplico, and Latta. None of those guys are easy outs for anybody. I think it could be the tough part. I think with 1A is, and we said this last year too, it's Abbeville and it's everybody else. I think after Abbeville, it's a very competitive classification this year, but it's going to be remaining to be seen. Can anybody knock off the Panthers? And I don't know.
Yeah, kind of looking at the back end of that, you mentioned Hunter Kenner Tyler. Decay there had a really good run last year. They got Darian Stroman back. I think they're not quite as deep as last year. Still should be really good. A great up front on the D-line. The secondary, I think the entire secondary is back. They'll be good on the back end there. Can they score enough points? But I think they certainly will. I like what that program is doing there. Blackfield Hilda, I don't know what to make of them. They lost a lot of key pieces. Jaquel Holman's at South Carolina now. Their head coach, Kevin Jones, leaves. I don't know what they've got. I know Jaden Dash is a good player. Outside of that, I'm not really sure. The 2 teams tied for 10th. I like one a lot more than the other, and that's the Latta Vikings. I think linebackers Zymeri Bethea, quarterback Jaden Alford, They returned 7 starters on offense, 4 on defense. Some good pieces for sure. I think if Alford steps up his play just a little bit this year, that could be a really fun, really good football team. But Hannah Pamplico lost your running back, lost your quarterback. I'm kind of worried about Coach Woodbury's bunch, especially early on this season.
Yeah, I get that. And, the one team that I thought may have deserved a little bit of love that's not in here is Baptist Hill. I thought they had a pretty good year last year, and they made it to the second round of the playoffs as well. And they were a team that turned it on. I want to say toward the back end of last year, they started to play pretty good football. I think they could have an argument for being in there. But, you're right. With 1A, it's you don't have 24 teams that are really good. Yeah. You barely got more than 24 teams as is. Or, it's so it's a little bit tough. But I think it's going to be a very competitive classification.
I've got 2 teams I'll consider sleepers that dark horses that didn't even make the top 10 here. One of them, Wagner Sally. I'm really intrigued by year 2 of Coach Blaze Gillespie. They've got some good people back, running back Zamian Capers, Ramadi Brown, Jaden Collins, Rayfield Bell on the defensive line, Caleb Shaw as well. I think they've got some good talent there. I think Wagner Sally could be a sneaky team. But the team I really like that I'm surprised was not in the top 10, John, a team that, if you look back over the time, has had a lot of success in this area. That's Carver's Bay. I think that football team with head coach Matthew Richard is built for a nice run. They've got Zion Giles up front, a South Carolina commit. They've got another monster offensive line beside him. They can really run the football on you, it feels like. They got a 2-year starter at quarterback, Christian Simmons, tight end, defensive end, Jaquan Hanna is a big piece for them. I think they're going to play a lot of grinded out football. And I think with that big OL, they can have some really good success down in 1A this year.
Yeah, they got Zion rated on Rivals. They've got him rated as the best offensive lineman prospect in the state for this year as well. That's and you talk about 1A football, the play on the line is extremely important. Mm-hmm. If you can be really good at 1A on the line, that goes very, very, very far.
Yeah, and I think they certainly have the pieces to do that. But any other teams you want to shout out in 1A? I know we've got a whole lot of them here we could mention, but anybody you wanted to really take a look at outside of these top 10 and the guys receiving votes that you think we maybe should shout out?
I'll throw out one more team that I thought was pretty impressive. I think they surprised a lot of people last year, and I'll be interested to see. I don't know how much they have coming back for this year. Was Branchville? They were
they started off really hot last year. They did.
Well. I think Branchville will be a team to watch that's not in this initial top 10.
Yeah, they had some nice pieces last year. I think Dixie quarterback Dallas Dotson's a playmaker. He might be somebody to keep an eye on this year as well. Outside of that, I do want to see what 2 schools, what Ridgeland and what Hardyville do. I think this is year 2 of them being separated again now. I think they both have some talent. I know Ridgeland with the Crawford kid and the Smith kid in the backfield are pretty good there. Hardyville, Kamari Brown, Region Player of the Year, is back for them. I think both those teams could be sneaky, could win some football games down there now that they are it's really just a cool story because we don't see schools splitting up much anymore. A lot of it's coming together. So cool to see them be getting, big enough to split up again and play some football on their own.
Yeah, and it's interesting at this level that they split. But,
yes.
Hey, I hope the best for both of them.
No doubt. Jerel, any comments from you on 1A? Any comments from the chat on 1A? Feel free to pop them in here. Love to go through that and get your thoughts as well.
You guys got me? My connection is not the best. Cool. It's good to be back. This feels right, doesn't it?
The boys are back in town.
It does.
That's right. No, I think the craziest thing, me, I'm always very self-aware when it comes to making these predictions and stuff like that, is I feel comforted that a lot of our fellow media members don't know either. Looking at that poll, we got 11 teams in the top 10, 11 in the top 10, and 15 others receiving votes. So I think it's just a mixed bag. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it starts with Abbeville. When you look at them and you look at Dutch Fork, like those are going to be the teams that you circle every year as going to be in the state title game. But then after that, I feel like it's really competitive. So I'm really excited to see. You guys made some great points there. I think there's a lot of unknowns when it comes here. There's a lot of talent coming back, but then there's a lot of teams that lost talent, heavy as well. So we'll see how it goes. I think there's a lot of opportunity, especially in the lower state. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but we'll throw some comments up and I'll jump off.
Real quick, John, did you read through the receiving votes team? I can't remember if you did or not.
I didn't. I can.
Might as well. Shout them all out. Shout them all out.
I want to say my favorite one for last. We mean disrespect here, right? But other receiving votes, I'm not sure if this is in order or not. It might be. Dixie, Calhoun County, Branchville, Baptist Hill, Ridgeland, Lee Central, Hardyville, Ware Shoals, Rich Spring, Minetta, McBee, Carter's Bay, Denmark Olar, Wagner Sally, Whitmire, and my favorite, we got Great Falls getting a vote. Well, at least one vote, maybe more.
Year 2 for Coach Newton. The boys struggled last year. Hopefully they turn around this year, see some progress in year 2 under Coach Newton, but should be it'll be a tough rebuild for sure. But yeah, Jerel, let's look at some comments from the chat here on the 1A ranks. We back. We are so back, man. We got 2A talk coming in. I know you're pumped for those Rebels. We'll talk about them here in a second. The Peachfields, look forward to making it down there, hopefully again this season. Yes, Ryan, Gaffney talk tomorrow. We'll talk about 5A tomorrow night. Going to be a lot of fun breaking down those classes. Brandon says 1A is the Abbeville Invitational. Certainly looked that way last year, didn't it? Mitchell is looking forward to a great season. Thank you, Mitchell. Appreciate you, man, as always, for tuning in and commenting with us. Brandon says all the state championships from last year started at number 1 except for South Point and 4A. Yeah, and that's one thing, too, with the polls. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I think, obviously, it's great they won it last year, but do you deserve to be number 1 the next year? I don't know. Right. Especially now with all the transfers going on. I don't know if you can say the same team should, but we'll see. Brandon says Lamar's a 1A powerhouse. They certainly all have 1A, a lot of titles. Coach Fountain was great there. Coach Jerel Boyd was great there. They've had some good players over the years. JD says Abbeville Panthers, let's go again. Certainly one of, if not the favorites again, JD, this season. Kevron, what about Edisto? We'll get to Edisto in a minute in the 2A talks here, Kevron. The Cougars hopefully building something good over there. RoQuest says Abbeville gets to come see Big West Side. Always a fun game. I'm glad those guys get together, too. A lot of athletes on the field. Obviously, West Side, a little more depth, is a bigger school there, but tons of talent on both sides there with the Panthers and the Rams. Ryan says, back in the 80s and 90s, Greenville News did a preview section each year. They miss it. Thank you, Ryan. That's kind of why we started doing this, Ryan. The newspapers have kind of gone away. They don't really preview like they used to. So we try to do our best to shout out a bunch of these guys and give these kids and programs the attention they deserve. Moving the Chains. What's up, guys? Hampton County in the house. Appreciate you, Terrence and Vanessa. Hampton County in 2A. That talk will come here in a second. We'll break down Coach Hannah's Hurricanes. JD's his favorite high school covers. Thank you, JD. Appreciate you as always. Appreciate you, Bradley. Thank you for joining us again, man. Anybody else, Jerel?
That is all we got for the comments, guys.
Well, Jerel, let's shout out some friends of the program. Oh, actually, no, wait. Don't do that yet. We got to make our picks, our 1A state championship picks. Who wants to go first in this one?
You want me to? I'll go first.
I'll go. I'm going
okay, go ahead.
Rinse and repeat. Abbeville Cross again. I think we're running it back. Panthers and the Trojans.
I'll be a little bit different. I'm going to say Abbeville, of course, but I think they're going to knock off Lakeview this year.
Oh,
I think Lakeview's going to make it.
Very nice.
All right, so obviously we're going Abbeville, Upper State. Let's keep it spicy. I'm looking lower part of the state. Who we're going to pick? I think I've been picking Cross to win it, so I'm going to stop jinxing them. Who are we going to go with?
Who are you going to jinx this year?
Yeah, who am I going to jinx this year? Let's go with Kevin. Let's go with Kevin's underdog. Let's go with the Latta Vikings. Let's go with them.
I like it.
All right, go Jerel.
Just for funsies. I'm shouting out for my boy Hunter. It'll be fun to keep up with.
Well, perfect. Well, if we don't have any more comments, Joe, you can take a look. We got comments, pop them on the screen. If not, let's shout out some friends of the program before we look at the 2A ranks. Dadrian, Big Louisville. Yes, sir, Dadrian. Got to replace a couple pieces here and there, but certainly some talent back. Mark says Wagner Sally in the house. I like this Wagner Sally bunch, Mark. I really do. I think Coach Gillespie in year 2 is going to do some good things over there. All right. Jerel, I guess we're going to friends of the program. Jerel.
Everyday life means everyday expenses. Spend smarter with
Jerel.
Everyday life means everyday expenses. Spend
Jerel.
Everyday life means everyday expenses.
Jerel.
My connection's bad. My connection just cut out. I'm going to get you to run those commercials for me.
I can run the commercials. We can do that. Sorry, folks. Hey, it's preseason for us, too. All right. Give us a second here. We will be back with the commercials and we'll be back with the program.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the "oh, I want to go." Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax. You're with Founders.
The George Agency has been serving the insurance. The George Agency has been serving the insurance needs of South Carolina for over 40 years. They're a full-line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance with an office in Mullins and Murrells Inlet, but they can help you all across the state. They have clients in Greer, Rock Hill, Columbia, and more, so wherever you are, they can help. Give Bradley, Wayne, Richard, and the crew a call or check them out online at thegeorgeagency.net. That's thegeorgeagency.net. Okay, we are back now, guys. Apologies for the issues. Once again, preseason for the boys here, but John, let's take a look at 2A. Let's do 10 through 1 and then do the receiving votes. Does that work for you?
Yeah, let's do that.
Perfect. Let's go that way.
All right, number 10, we've got, and I love how they put this in the poll as well, or at least the state. We got Central, and they put Pageland in parentheses. Central Pageland at number 10. Right down the road, we got Jerel at number 9. We got a tie for 7 between Philip Simmons and Manning. Barnwell comes in at 6. We got the Chester Cyclones getting a first-place vote and coming in at 5. Number 4, we got Hampton County. 3, Batesburg-Leesville. 2nd is Fairfield Central with 1 first-place vote. And Clinton coming in number 1 with 15 first-place votes. That's more first-place votes than Abbeville is getting in the 1A poll. Big-time respect for the Red Devils here.
Very interesting. Let's who do we have on the receiving votes list there, John? And we'll go through some of these top 10 guys.
All right, we've got not quite as many here for 2A. We got, how about this? We've got Strom Thurmond on the outside looking in. Saluda, Andrew Jackson, Mullins, Woodland, Liberty, Chesney, Timberland, Andrews, and 96. Getting votes, but not in the top 10.
Starting at number 1, Clinton, last year's state title winner. They bring back some big pieces. Javen Cook, 1,800-plus yards, 21 touchdowns last year. Rhett Gilliam's back. Offensive lineman Trey Aiken, the NC State commit, is a monster up front for them. You got Chris Boyd, Kari Vance, Jaden Glenn. But you are breaking in a new quarterback. I believe that will be Owen Glenn for Coach Fountain's bunch there. We'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table. You know, the last couple of years, Tyshawn Richardson has done a great job of not only throwing the ball, but being mobile and moving with his feet. We'll see how this new quarterback fits in for there. Fairfield Central, this is going to be an interesting team to me. You know, you got running back Kenyon Douglas there for Coach Davis, but they lost a lot. Tydarian Greer had a monster season last year in the backfield. He's gone. I believe their quarterback is back as well, but 2 seems maybe a little bit high for them off the top, but we'll see. Number 3, a team that I love, Batesburg-Leesville, Amadre Wooden, 2,100-plus yards, 26 touchdowns last season. KD Witt, receiver, DB, is back. They're a monster squad there. I think Coach Lawson, I believe this is year 3 for him there at Batesburg-Leesville. They're going to be a very tough team. The Panthers will be to beat.
Yeah, you know, Batesburg-Leesville, they had an awesome season last year. Boy, Clinton got, and they deserve it. You know, after all the injuries they've been through the last few years, I feel like they played great all year. But, man, they really caught fire in the playoffs. You know, really kind of embarrassed Batesburg-Leesville in that, what was that, the 3rd round of the playoffs last year, winning that game 31-14. But, yeah, the Panthers are back. You know, I was a little skeptical of them last year. And their resume last year, I mean, week in, week out, they were very, very good. And I expect them to be pretty doggone good again this year, too.
Yeah, got to find a quarterback. You know, last year, the guy they had been a starter for, I think, 3 years, had a ton of school records, was able to take some pressure off of that run game because he could throw a little bit. Can they find somebody to complement Wooden back in the backfield? We'll see how that shakes out. Hampton County, interesting bunch there. A team that has really had some nice seasons since they, you know, became one school there. Jalen Singletary, running back DB, is back for Coach Hanna. He's a really solid player. This Chester team, I like them a lot. You know, we saw them last year in the playoffs, John, round 1. Defensively, Terry Radford had 16 sacks, I think it was, last year. And I say that, and actually I thought that might be a low number. He may have had more than that. He had a monster year, tons of sacks there. They returned 8 defensive starters off a really good defense. Offensively, they are switching from the spread to the wing T. Just fits their personnel better. But if you've got a defense with 8 starters back, a guy who gets after the quarterback like Radford, you can grind it out on offense. If you can score a couple touchdowns, a defense like those guys will win you a lot of football games.
Yeah, with Chester, we saw them play last year. Awesome environment up there, awesome stadium that they had. Actually, the environment could have been a little bit better. I wish the fans were a little more into it. But Chester, a good team. If they can limit the amount of big plays. We saw the defense play well, but they gave up a lot of big plays.
They did.
And that's something that they can limit that. And it was really on the back end, in the secondary. If they can get a little bit sharper in the secondary, they got more experience now this year. They've got the recipe to certainly improve on the back end of the defense. I think if they can do that, they're going to be a very, very scary team. I mean, they're already scary. They got a lot of talent, a lot of speed, and they play hard. That's a fun team to watch.
Yeah. Once again, guys, this is not our poll, just the poll that just came out yesterday, the Prep Media poll. We're using this kind of as a jumping off part to go through some of these teams. Barnwell, last year's lower state champ. Nehemiah Brown, 1,000 yards in the backfield. He's back for them. Strengths of this team is going to be up front and in the box on defense. Creech, Peoples, DeVoe lead that defensive bunch for Coach Smith there. Got to figure out the quarterback spot. You lose a guy like Cam Austin, who was a multi-year starter. Got to replace him there for the Warhorses. That 7 spot's intriguing to me, John. Manning, what Coach Kennedy does there, he's had a lot of really good teams. Even when they were up in the 3A class, they were contenders. They got John Tavius Canty, running back linebacker, who's a stud, going to have a huge season for them. And then Philip Simmons, a team that has had some really nice success in their few years as a program. New quarterback, Hayes Goddard. Several running backs can touch the ball defensively. Brady Tonin, tight end William Hollifield, are a couple big guys there for Coach Bendig. Anybody else that you like outside or you want to talk about in that top 7 so far, John?
Yeah, I think Manning at 7 I think that's a little low for them. I think they're a really good team. I think they can be a legitimate top 5 program this year. I think they are, I don't know if I'd say a little under the radar, maybe for the writers here in the media poll, but I think they're I don't know about a state championship contender, but I think they're a legitimate top 5 team.
Yeah, rounding out the top 10 here, we got 2 guys in the same region. We got Jerel, quarterback Caden Thomas is back, running back Justin Joint's back, receiver Nick Gordon is back. Defensive ends are really good. Anthony Strong is one of those guys who's a stud. Crawford Poole as well is a monster for them. This Jerel team is a team that I think we've all been pretty high on the last couple of years. Last year had a region championship winning team. A nice run in the playoffs, lost on the road at Barnwell with a couple like crazy plays by just a point, and that was with some injured pieces as well. They've got a really nice team returning, I think, for Coach Poole. They are a factor. I think they're better than number 9, if you ask me looking at this poll here. Central is a team that kind of shocked a bunch of folks last year. I think they beat Lamar early on, kind of caught us off guard. Won a game or 2 in the playoffs. It was kind of surprising. Quarterback Dwayne Lou Allen's back. Running back Ashton Wilson. Defensively, MJ Allen leads Coach Eason's bunch. Can they stay under control? Can they keep it, keep between the mustard and the mayonnaise, as you say, not get in trouble, no crazy penalties, no crazy turnovers. If they can just play solid football, they've got a chance to be good this year as well, I feel like.
Yeah, they've certainly made some good strides the last couple of years. That was an impressive run they had last year. They won 2 games in the playoffs, which is pretty impressive. And then, I think what's interesting, you look at the top 2 that are receiving votes that aren't in the top 10, Strom Thurmond and Saluda. They lost a lot of talent the last couple of years, but they are a team, the environment's going to be there when you play both of those teams at home, or when you're on the road playing at their place, you're going to be in a hostile environment. I think both of those teams, maybe not both of them will be in the top 10 come the end of the regular season, but I guarantee you one of those 2 will be.
Yeah, I'm not as high on Saluda this year. New head coach Greg Warner after Stuart Young goes over to Lexington. They got the running back Braden Williams back, but I just don't know. I feel like they've lost a lot of pieces the last couple years. Not as high on the Tigers, but Strom Thurmond would have been in my top 10. I like what the Coach Webb's bunch is bringing back. The quarterback Bryshon Lee is back. Deontay Phillips, Bry Coleman, Trey Mathis, the youngster Caden Wigfall as well. But the kid I really like is Caleb Simpkins, the DB receiver.
Yeah.
Freak athlete, really good player. Excited to watch him play this year. I think Strom Thurmond deserved a top 10 spot in this poll. I was really surprised they weren't there, and not really sure why that is. If you just look off of what they got coming back, it makes no sense. Honestly, they weren't in the top 10. But A couple other teams I did like. You mentioned Mullins. 2 years ago, winless. Last year, you win 7 football games. I mean, that's a heck of a turnaround for Coach Lowry there in year 2. I think this year, quarterback Kanazion Bethea is back. They've got some good talent, some good depth built up finally now there. I think they could be a really good team to watch out for. And the team that I think is really flying under the radar, Lake City. Head coach Jamison Eastep. He's been the interim the past couple years after Coach Baker's accident. They officially named him the head coach this season. They've got some good pieces back. Quarterback Amari Hanna, running back Shavon Shavers, and receiver RJ Matthews. Lake City always has some big guys, some tough physical guys. I think the Panthers could be a sneaky team to win a couple games in the playoffs this year.
I like that. And I'll throw out one more team that I think is, I'm not going to say they deserve to be in the top 10 here in the preseason, but a team that I think can work their way into that top 10 as the season goes is Timberland. They're a good team. They're always a little bit under the radar, but they're right there. They beat Lake City in first round of the playoffs last year, and played a pretty tough game with Barnwell second round. I think Timberland's a team to watch.
And they got the offensive lineman Desmond Green, a Florida commit. I mean, it's an absolute mauler up front. Like, you know what they want to do? Like, they want to run the football at you. Similar to Carver's Bay, when you got some big boys up front, you can really grind it out. You can make some noise. I think they've got a good group there. I think they will be a fun team. Could certainly be a tough out for some folks this year as well. A couple other 2A teams. I know Kevron asked about Edisto earlier. Edisto, the Cougars. Zechariah Jameson's a pretty good player for Coach Livingston. He's a guy to watch out for this year. John, we always seem to talk about Andrew Jackson having a great running back. Still the case this year. Demias Seegers is back for them. He's a really good player, had a really good season last year. He could put up some big numbers there for the Volunteers. Let's see. Anybody else I wanted to shout out? Chesterfield, head coach Nick Dixon, alum taking over. Sincere Hubbard, really good linebacker for them. I like what he brings to the table. Let's see. Anybody else who want to shout out? Marion, the Swamp Foxes, a team that a couple years back made a deep run to the title game, I think 2020. They've had a couple nice runs since then. Really young bunch last year, won 1 football game. They bring back 6 players on both sides of the ball this year. Should be a lot better for Coach Hennessy. I think that team could make some noise. Another one, Landrum, quarterback Ty Foster, 27 touchdowns is back. AJ Lindsey, also a weapon for them. Anybody else, John, in 2A, you want to shout out before we go into some comments and whatnot?
Yeah, I think that covers it. I think we've got, I think 2A is similar to 1A, but minus the Abbeville situation. I think Clinton's, they're going to be the team to beat for sure. They're the ones that's going to have the target on their backs this year. But I think it's going to be a very, very competitive class. I think we got a lot of good teams and a lot of good talent and across the state, not just in the upper state, not just in the lower state. I think it's across the entire state in 2A this year.
Yeah, 2 more I do want to shout out right quick. Chesney, I think Brett Chappell comes from North Carolina, his second season here. Quarterback Evan Reese Lauder, receiver DB Braylon Blanton, defensively Gossett leads that group. They could be better this year. I think they should have a good squad. Then East Clarendon, interesting storyline here. Really good up front, John. Lacking some team speed, so actually moving the 2-year start quarterback Dakota Cornelius from quarterback to receiver to add some speed outside for them. I think East Clarendon is going to be a tough out for some folks because they're going to play some really tough, hard-nosed football over there.
I tell you what, and that's a good sign because when you look at high school football, and high school football is pretty similar across the board at the different levels. But high school, usually your best athlete's playing quarterback.
Yeah.
And for a team to say, hey, we're going to take that guy and we're going to put him at wide receiver, that tells me whoever they have behind him that's going to play quarterback is pretty doggone good too. And that's a big positive indicator, I think, for East Clarendon that they have the confidence to be able to do that. Because it's not like, hey, this guy's probably our best player. He's played quarterback. They know how good he is. So that's a big deal to me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jerel, comments from the chat on 2A or from you as well. Brandon says surprise Strom Thurman not top 10. Yeah, I was too. That was really the big miss for me looking at the 2A ranks. I didn't think they wouldn't be in there. Gregory says be there in time. Yeah, that certainly will. Certainly will be there. I think they're going to be a tough team this year. Rebels will be tough, says Alec. Yep, they are a very good football team. Browse, some of those teams are 5 smaller schools. I'll just run that season. Upstate's got some talent. Upper State 2A last year as well was really tough. I think it's going to be similar this year. Brandon Clinton will get tested next Friday at Woodruff. It certainly will. Yes, we were at that football game. Going on the road this year to Woodruff is going to be tough. Both teams bring back a lot of talent. Will be a great week 0 ball game there. QB play and OL being replaced. I don't know which one that's about, Bulldog. I'm not sure. Could be a lot of guys we talked about there. I don't know. Braley's on Chester.
The center quarterback exchange.
Yeah, we are too. Chester is going to be I think they're going to be good this year too. Fairfield Central says Durant. That's a team. We mentioned them earlier. Durant, not really sure what they're going to have. They've lost some pieces. Tydarian Greer is out. Kenyon Douglas is kind of filling that spot there. Quarterback is back. I don't know. Number 2 feels a little bit high for Coach Davis's bunch right now, but we'll see how that shakes out over the coming season. Chris says Vicksburg, Leesville, and Barnwell in a jamboree on Friday. That'll be a fun matchup. Obviously still just preseason, so it doesn't really matter, but it's still good to see some really good teams facing off. It's good. Both those guys will get some good work. Terrence says new quarterback at Hampton County is Terrell Grant, one to watch in 2A. We'll put him on the list. Appreciate you bringing us that info. Looking forward to seeing the Hurricanes this year. Any news on Blacksburg? Yeah, Trayvon Clark, Hart Crawford, Riley Burton. I actually got to talk to them a couple weeks back at a media day. I think Coach Batchelor's doing a great job there, a team that you feel like is kind of ascending. They've had some nice teams, some nice wins the last couple of years, and they lose some, the quarterback, a big receiver, but they've got some pieces to kind of replace them. I think what Coach Batchelor's building there is really nice. I think Blacksburg should have a solid season there in 2A. 96 to Lower State sleeper. Interesting pick there. A team that I think 2 years ago went like 9-0 to start the season, lost to Abbeville late when they were still in 2A. Last year had a bit of a down season compared to that. But Coach Bennett, he wants to run the football. He's got some talented pieces up front and in the backfield. I really like Gabe Hackett for them, running back, linebacker. He's a good player for that bunch. I think 96 could be a sleeper team. That's a good pick there, Marcel. Anything else, Jerel, from you or from the chat? Calling Jerel Hendricks. Zach says Bulldogs talking about Batesburg, Leesville. Yeah, replacing the quarterback, replacing some O-line pieces. Interesting to see how they can fill those spots there. Wooden obviously is a monster, but you got to have some guys up front. But I still like Batesburg, Leesville. I still think they're a really good team this year, and we shall see. Zach asked for our state title predictions. Are we ready for that, Jerel? Do you want to join us, Jerel? Are you able to join us, Jerel? I know you're having the issues there. You got us, Jerel.
Let me take this comment off while I have this janky hotel Wi-Fi. So sorry about that, guys. We'll get it fixed for tomorrow. Some
scouting for us. He's out.
I'm making some money. That's what I'm doing, so we can do this show. That's what I'm doing here. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Again, I feel like it's kind of similar to 1A. I feel like there's a lot of unknowns, especially with players. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to keep up with this. It's going to be competitive as well. I think with Clinton too, I don't know if they're a clear cut, favorite. I think obviously they're getting the respect they do as the defending state champion. Yeah. But I think they got some pieces that they got to replace as well. So there's some holes there. I think it's up for grabs. Obviously, we like Batesburg. They're not going to sneak up on anybody this year like they did last year. So it's going to be very competitive. I do, like you guys are saying, and a lot of the chat is saying, I think Thurman is being overlooked. Them not being in the top 10, is not ideal. I think they're definitely a top 10 team, and we'll definitely hear from them throughout the season.
Yeah, who would you guys take out, put them in the top 10?
Let's see. I'll pull it up. I'll tell you. You want to start something? Is that what we're doing?
Down arrows beside. I'll tell you that. But they might be too high to take all the way out.
I mean, based on last year, obviously, that's a lot of the stuff that we have to go off. We're going off of last year. Obviously, this is a preseason poll, but I guess you'd probably maybe Phillip Simmons. That's someone that I would think about maybe taking off for a Thurman.
Central to Pageland.
I forgot to mention this earlier for Central, John. I'm glad you brought them back up. They returned 4,000 yards of offense and 20-plus seniors this year. We may be a little bit underrating them.
I think Central's going to be very good.
That's a lot.
And that one's tricky. That's tricky, too, because that's that split region. So you don't know who's going to be where until we get towards the end of the season. There's some really talented teams there, so it'll be a lot of fun keeping up. I think that's Region 4 there in 2A, so it'll be a lot of fun.
That's a good region, too.
It is. It is. But
y'all ready for predictions?
Ready for predictions? Yeah. Who wants to go first here?
I'll go. I've been thinking about this one. So I do like Clinton to repeat. I think that's the ball is in their court. It's theirs to win. Out of the lower state, I'm going to go Hampton County.
Ooh.
I think we're going to see. I'm predicting a Hampton County Jerel lower state championship game. And Hampton County come out on top.
I think, obviously the brackets are changed. I want to say one of them would have to finish at number 2 to face each other for the title there, but I can't remember how the brackets may change. I don't know. Anyway, I like those two teams. These are 2 good picks there, I think. Jerel, who do you like?
Upper state, man. Let's go Batesburg, man. I love that. I love the Wooden Kid. Love Katie Witt. I think they're going to be dynamic again. That's going to be a big hole to fill at the quarterback position. But I like Batesburg. I like the way they play. Obviously, people have seen them in jamborees and scrimmages, so we'll see how they go once they get into the regular season. And then in the lower state, man, that's tough. Let's have Hampton County. I like that one. I like that pick too, John. Let's have Hampton County break through here.
So I don't know if we got any Batesburg, Leesville people in here, but I got 2 questions for Batesburg, Leesville. I'd love to get some feedback on. One, the running back, Amadre Wooden. Do people call him, is it Savvy? I think is maybe his nickname. So I'd love to get that so we can make sure we're shouting him out the right way on the show. So let us know how we're doing that. Because I saw Amadre, but I'm pretty sure he goes by something else. And then secondly, John, John and Jerel both want to comment on this. We saw Batesburg Leesville play last year. We talked about Katie Witt, receiver, DB. Okay, is that Savvy or Savvy? Help me out here, and I'll make sure we get it the right way. Savvy? I'm gonna go Savvy. I'm just gonna call him Savvy and hope that's right. Perfect. Katie Witt, receiver, DB. If you get a couple weeks into the season, and obviously you got to go to run game, maybe the quarterback is not quite there. Do you look at putting Witt at quarterback and going more really run heavy? That's how phonetically
well done,
write it out. Thank you, Marcel. I appreciate that. Savvy. Got it. So yeah, do you look at maybe putting Witt at quarterback and going to some kind of more just really run heavy with 2 electric guys in the backfield? Because that's something I thought about, that it might be a good fit for Coach Lawson and the boys if they need a spark or just can't find it out of the quarterback spot. Any thoughts?
I don't hate that.
Okay.
But you know what I think would be interesting? Say you get down the season and you save that for a game where you really need it. Just
random Wildcat, 3rd round of the playoffs, just dust it off and just run for 500 yards.
I mean, Katie's a great athlete. I'm sure he could play the quarterback spot. Maybe that's something you look at if you're the Panthers.
Batesburg Leesville coaching staff is sitting here watching going, would they shut up?
I'm interested to see, man. The Thurman fans, they're really, really high on this team. So I'm interested to see how they shake out, especially when they get into region play. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch them.
I will say, I don't think I made my pick yet. I'm going to go Strom Thurman Jerel 2A. That's what I'm taking. Taking Rebel Braves.
Getting influenced by the chat here. So you're going preseason unranked to state title in the
they're one of the teams I had an up arrow beside over here on my poll. I wrote. I had an up arrow beside the Rebels.
There you
Kevin's
go, chat.
also got the Florida Gators playing for the national championship this year.
Love BJ Lagway, really athletic. Oh man! Any other comments from the chat?
We're chopped liver now, John. I'll go ahead and throw these comments up. Kevin, you may have to run those commercials. I'm lagging a little bit, so
I got it.
We'll be ready for
the comments on there first. Appreciate you, Bulldog. Go Rebs. Yeah, hey, I'm ready for the boys from Thurman to make a deep run. Make me look smart this year, boys. I need it. Appreciate you guys. The Hornets nest. Zach, we try to just, try to be unbiased, commentators here. I'm buying the Rebel stock. I am, Marcel. I think they got a lot of athletes there. I think they're good. Appreciate you, Bulldog. Thank you. You're a good dude, too. I appreciate that.
Hey, it's a good stock to buy.
That's right, Jerel. You picked Saluda to beat them last year, so I don't know if they want you to pick them or not. The Panthers, that's right.
I'm good at jinxing people, so sorry about it, Chris. Sorry about it. John, we're chopped liver, man. Kevin's good down in the peach fields. We're not. So
you just go ahead and take our picture off of here.
Yeah, it'll just be. I told you we're just gonna put Kevin on the screen. He's gonna be all over that CSRA page too.
That's fine. Anybody else, Jerel, comment-wise before we talk to some friends of the program?
Let's go commercial right here.
Perfect.
Schedule your sewer drain clearing with Preferred Home Services today. If we can't clear it, it's free.
Electrical, plumbing, cooling too.
Go, 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 Preferred!
Everyday life means everyday expenses. Spend smarter with a Founders Federal Credit Union credit card, offering you low rates and big rewards where it matters most. Enjoy all the benefits of saving while using your Founders Essential MasterCard. Make every swipe and tap count with smart rates, big rewards on select cards, and no balance transfer or annual fees. Because your money should go where you want it to. That's the power of Founders Federal Credit Union. Apply today at foundersfcu.com. Relax. You're with Founders.
All right, guys, appreciate you as always tuning in. If you are just now joining us, we've already talked about 1A and 2A. You can go back and watch that when the show's over. It'll live on Facebook and YouTube, also our podcast platforms. We broke down 1A and 2A already. Go check that out. Chris, I love Sheely's. That comment hurts my heart. I hope I can go back there someday. Love their barbecue down there in Batesburg. But, John, let's take a look now at the SCISA ranks. There's not been a poll out yet for that league. But let's look at 4A, John. I think it's got to start in with Hammond, a team that is a 8 consecutive state championship winner there for Coach Wheeler's bunch. You got Jordan Boston, Bubba Alexander, Jackson Ross getting a ton of offers at the corner spot right now. They do only return 3 offensive starters, but they are all on the O-line, which does help some. But when you have a defense like what they're going to have, I think they'll have time for that young offense to come alive. A second team that I really like, Porter Goud. Head coach Matt Neighbors, year 1, Scott Tibbles is back. Davin Brown is going to be a big contributor for them. This is a team that had a real shot to beat Hammond in the state title game last year. The Skyhawks scored with like 20 seconds left to win that football game. I think Porter Goud, the Cyclones, will be a good team to follow. Northwood, Coach Johnny Waters. MJ Davis is a great athlete. Aiden Hogan and Drew Wolf outside. Kevin Johnson, a Fort Dorchester transfer, takes over at quarterback for them. And running back Caven Ford, 1,500-plus yards last year, is back. 7 starters on offense, 6 starters on defense. They may be a sleeper in the 4A SCISA ranks.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a ton of a handful of really good teams. Lawrence Manning, had a good year last year.
Bad year last year. Good year 2 years ago.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's a chance. There's a chance, but Hammond is just you got to catch him on a bad day. I think you just got to catch him on a bad day.
Yeah, I like Lawrence Manning. Head coach Jimmy Noonan, a guy that's been around some big football, coached at Spring Valley for a long time, coached at Wando, Georgetown as well. He's a high-profile name there for the Swamp Cats. Quarterback Granger Powell is back. Pearson Gamble back as well. They're a sleeper for me. Another one is Heathwood Hall. Head coach Tommy Zimmerman, year 2 for him. A lot of pieces coming back. Patrick Belt at quarterback, Jackson Noble, Chip Ravenel. Julian Hughes on the defensive side had 150 tackles last year. He's back again. That's an experienced group there, the Highlanders are. I think they've got some really nice pieces. John, any other 4A comments? Jerel, any 4A thoughts from you before we look down at the 3A SCISA ranks?
I think it's it just comes down to, can you catch Hammond on a bad day? I think
which almost happened.
Which almost happened.
Almost happened last year.
2 years in a row. They've played pretty close title games. Who had them 2 years ago on the ropes? Maybe Lawrence Manning. Somebody played them really tight in that one as well. So they've played it tight in the title games, but they keep coming out on top. They certainly do.
Yeah, I'm not picking Lawrence Manning this year. They definitely had a tough year last year. It is, again, like we talk about with Abbeville and Dutch Fork, you got to just, ride with Hammond as the heavy favorite until someone can upset them. But, yeah, I like these teams here. But Porter Goud, man, I know they lost a lot. We saw that in the chat, talking about they lost 20 seniors. Me and Kevin caught up with Coach Neighbors, in the offseason. It was so much fun. I think really that's going to be a program that might be able to get to that Hammond status sooner rather than later. So should be a lot of fun.
A team that, you lose a guy like J.J. Flood, I think he's down at the Citadel now, has had a huge career for Porter Goud. You think it's tough to bounce back. I think they've got some good pieces back, and they lost 20 seniors, but They brought in some guys. They got a talented bunch down there, I feel like, for Coach Neighbors. Down to the LMA and Pete Porter. Guys, Jason Hardy. Yeah, those are two of my sleepers I'm looking at for sure in the SCISA 4A ranks. Down in 3A, Pinewood Prep, defending champ. Head coach Devontae Holloman gets it done in year 2 last year. Quarterback Will Watson is there. Running back Grayson Salago, a kid that's played a lot of football. I think he had some injuries last year, took a step back, but he can kind of let Jeremiah Singleton kind of do his thing. But Salago is back. He's a really good piece for them. They've got a lot of talent down there in Somerville for Coach Holloman's bunch. Hilton Head Christian, Reed McCollum, 2,400 passing yards, 21 touchdowns last year, 845 on the ground, 16 more touchdowns rushing. Receiver Joseph Haupt is a big guy there for Ron Peduzzi. And not the Dolphins. Maybe they are the Dolphins. No, the Eagles. Sorry. Hilton Head Christian Eagles. Yeah. Anyway, they're a good team this year. Also in 3A, I think Wilson Hall. They've played for state back-to-back years, have not quite won it. They took Pinewood to the brink last year. They've got some great guys back. Midland Galloway is a big-time player. Ford Wilder is a monster. He's a great basketball player as well, but just great on the outside. I think he's 6'4", 6'5", trying to throw it up to him there out of that run-heavy offense. You don't see it coming. He gets a lot of 1-1 matchups. He's a really good player for Coach Jarecki's bunch. And then finally, a sleeper for me, Trinity Collegiate. New coach Sean Fagan. You got senior quarterback Davidson Lynch, running backs Mack and Jackson, receivers Williams and Preston. Birch and Wilcox at the linebacker spot both had 100-plus tackles last year. I think they could be a sneaky team there in Class 3A.
Yeah, I trust Coach Holloman so much, and he's got the talent too. I think Pinewood is going to be really, really tough to deal with this year again.
Yeah, they're going to be good. An interesting team to me, First Baptist, head coach Kevin Mapp, a guy who had actually given up coaching and had gone to work for Charleston PD, I think, for like the past 5 or 6 years. And now he's back in coaching as a head coach. So really cool story there for him to see what he'll bring to that Hurricanes program in year 1. Looking, any comments from you, Jerel, in 3A? Sorry, I forgot before we go down to 2A.
No, you guys keep rolling there. Again, like Coach Holloman, love what he's doing there. He's able to translate it to SCISA as well.
Looking down at the 2A ranks in SCISA now, we've got a couple teams I like. Bethesda, last year state runner-up. They won it 2 years ago. A lot of pieces back. Turner, Cheever, Morris, all returned for them. Orangeburg Prep's an interesting group there. New head coach Brooks Smith. They've got a tight end, Tilden Riley. He's a Vandy commit, 6'5", 220. Really, really big target there for the Indians. He's a guy to watch out for sure. You got Calhoun. People are talking good things about Calhoun this year. Head coach Todd Layton. You got Dayton Birkland is a big-time player for them. Last year's state title winners, the PD Academy Golden Eagles. A bit of a changeover on offense. You lose some of the high-flying pieces like Colby Richardson. You lose Miles Trussell. But you bring back Tristan Heckman. You bring back Judson Martin, Ryan Small. A little more run-heavy for the Golden Eagles this year. Kind of a switching offense there. But I think they should have some talented pieces to help them have a good season again from them. Anybody else we want to mention here? Let's see. Thomas Sumter, Carter Hill, Weston Schaefer, Andrew Connors are all back. They could have a better season, it feels like, this year. But I think 2A is really Bethesda, Orangeburg Prep, PD, and Calhoun this season.
I don't know if anybody's got anything for PD. They got to do a lot better than they did last year.
Yeah. It should be fun. They open up with Trinity here. So we'll see how that goes for both those teams. Two teams that I'm high on. A fun thing about SCISA too, John, they've actually got some games this Friday. A handful of games playing, I guess, week -1, if you want to call it that. So we'll get some football, football on the grass here this week. Jerel, any 2A comments from you?
I'm going with PD just for the hospitality and the hot dogs. So let's keep it rolling.
Down to the lawn again. Down to the lawn. I love it. Down to
great name for the stadium.
It really is. It really is. Down to the 1A ranks. Last year's champ Thomas Hayward, head coach Taylor Malfris. They return a bunch, including running back Tony O'Banner, one of the better players in the state, not just in SCISA. Josh Gibson is back as well for them. They're a really good bunch down there in Ridgeland. I think Thomas Hayward is probably the favorite again. Williamsburg, new head coach Will First. Was it Lawrence Manning last year at Lee Academy? Now comes over to Williamsburg. The Stallions, they've played for state each of the last 4 seasons. They do return quarterback Micah Balder, Ben Harper, and Jay Callahan, all key pieces back for them. And then the team I think to watch out for, John, Dorchester. Coach Michael Nelson, I believe it's year 3 for him there. Won a lot of state titles over at Holly Hill. They've got some really good pieces, including running back John Wetzel, who put up huge numbers last year. He's back. Abe Schuler's back, and John Quattlebaum all back for the Raiders. I think Dorchester is the team to look out for in 1A this season.
I think I like Williamsburg to get a little bit of wrench this year.
Yeah.
I think Williamsburg is going to – I like them to win it this year.
Yeah. A couple other teams. I like Buford Academy. Head coach Nick Shuford. You got Nick Underwood at running back. He's a good player for them. Carolina intrigues me. Year 2 under David Rankin. See what he can bring to that bunch there in Lake City. Then Andrew Jackson, a team that had a lot of success, 10, 15 years ago, is kind of falling off a little bit. They got head coach Andy Palmer back. You got Hall Cease, Grayson Hay, Ollie Barnes, and Cooper Hires all back. They've got a chance to be a good team there as well. Anybody else in 1A you want to shout out, John, or you, Jerel, here in the 1A ranks? Thomas Hayward, says Bradley. I think they may be the favorite, or if not the favorite, they're one of the top 2 favorites probably for sure. The Rebels have a bunch of really good pieces back in 1A. Looking down at 8-man now, you feel like it's a 2-horse race every year, but yet last year we saw Richard Wynn and I believe Lawrence play for the state title and not Holly Hill or JDA, who are usually the favorites there. I think it's back to normal this year. I think Holly Hill, Parker Kaiser back, Jefferson Davis, you got Craig, Williams, Still, and Nix. They were having a bit of a numbers issue, a bit of a depth issue. We'll see how that shakes out for them. I think those 2 teams are going to be 2 of the favorites again this season. Richard Wynn come up that state title championship there for Coach Paul Brigman. Lost some big pieces that we'll see what they have as they get rolling here in a couple weeks. But I think it's JDA and Holly Hill again, I think in 8-man.
Warlaw got a chance?
Wardlaw losing Colt Bailey, I don't know what they're going to have for Coach Rogers there. I think they're probably going to take a step back from last year's season, but they could be a contender. I don't think they're probably one of the top 2 or 3. Chris says not all ski teams in the upstate. No, we got Spartanburg Christian, Spartanburg Day, both in SCISA. You got a couple schools. You got Greenwood Christian as well, but that's really about it in the upstate that I would say is SCISA. We got a like First Presbyterian or Shannon Forest. They just don't play football, so not a whole lot of football playing teams up in the upstate in SCISA.
And your private schools in the upstate are in the high school league.
Yeah,
you got the Southside Christian,
Christchurch, St. Joe's.
Christchurch. The kind of big dogs, but they're the bigger schools playing in the high school league. Yeah.
Oh, any comments from you, Jerel, on 8-man? Let's run through our SCISA state title picks if you guys are ready for those as well.
All right, already gave mine.
Yeah. I feel like I did too, but yeah, we'll go through it again.
All right, we'll start at 8-man. I'm going to go with, I think JDA beats Holly Hill this year in 8-man. Who do you guys like in that class?
I'm going to go Holly Hill.
Yeah, me too. I'm a contrarian. I'm going to go Holly Hill. Let's team up, John.
In 1A, I think we get a Thomas Hayward-Dorchester matchup, but I think the matchup of the running backs with Wetzel and O'Banner, I go O'Banner. I think the Rebels win back-to-back.
I'm going Williamsburg.
I'm going Thomas Hayward. I got to go with Kev on that one. Love O'Banner. Want to give a shout out to Coach Malfris. Knew him when he was playing at North Greenville back in the day. So solid dude. Glad he got that opportunity.
Love that. And the 2A may be the toughest one for me to call right now because I just don't know enough about a couple of these teams. I think I kind of want to take Bethesda. Maybe we take Bethesda, Calhoun. Let's see. I got to take PD. Come on, Jerel. We're gonna take PD over PD over Bethesda. Actually PD over Calhoun. I don't know how the brackets work out. I'm gonna take that PD over Calhoun this year in the 2A ranks.
I like PD over Bethesda.
Yeah, PD Bethesda. I like that one.
3A, I think Hilton Head Christian may have something for Pinewood this year.
Okay.
Let's go Hilton Head Christian Trinity in 3A.
Ooh.
Okay.
Off the radar here.
I'm going to go a rematch. I think it's going to be Pinewood, Wilson Hall again.
Let's go Pinewood.
Now, does Wilson Hall play for it 3 years in a row and lose all 3, John, or did he get one this year?
I think it's going to be more in a 3-point game, too. I think Pinewood's going to not put it on them, but I don't think it's going to be as tight as it was this past year.
Heartbreaking. Buffalo Bill style right here. That's tough.
Who do you like in 3A, Jerel? Did you make your pick already?
Yeah, let's go Pinewood Trinity. Let's do that.
Then 4A, let me get Hammond over Northwood.
Ooh, that's tough.
I definitely want Hammond.
Yeah, well, that's a clean sweep there.
I like that.
Yeah, let's go. All three. Hammond winning.
Oh, perfect. Any other comments from SCISA in the chat, Jerel, for you? Shout out some more friends of the program.
Let's see what we got. We got a JDA comment here.
Jermaine, appreciate you.
I think that's all we got here.
Perfect. One more shout out friends of the program, and then we'll be back to wrap it up.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the oh, I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
Once again, guys, if you're just now joining us, we've already talked through 1A, 2A, and all of SCISA. Once the show is over, you can go back and watch those. They'll be on Facebook. They'll be on YouTube. They'll be on our podcast in just a little bit once I get a chance to load that up as well. So go back and check those out. And then tomorrow we'll be back to talk 3A, 4A, and 5A. Break down those classes. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about some of the bigger schools, some of the bigger classes, some really nice teams, and all those classes. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. As always, appreciate you joining us. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains. That's MOVINCHAINS, movinchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Movin The Chains brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Get your Movin The Chains merch today. Some great stickers for you. Order your sticker today. It can go on your car, go on your laptop, whatever you want to put it on. Get you a sticker. DM us or email us there. Order yours. We got some great toboggans still for you. Some great hats, some great shirts, some great hoodies, whatever you want. Help support the boys. Now, we're trying to make this show bigger and better. And to do that, we need support from our fans. We need support from the public like you guys. So certainly order your stuff, shirts, hoodies, hats, whatever you want. Love to have you rocking some Movin The Chains gear. Love to see you guys at some games this year wearing some of this stuff. I know that I will be. I know John will be. And I know Jerel will be as well. So appreciate you. Get your Movin The Chains merch today. Any final thoughts, Jerel, John, from you guys as we wrap up and head into tomorrow? I do want to say one more thing. Shout out to all the coaches and all the fans and kids who sent us gear this offseason. We've got some new stuff added. We got some Wilson stuff, some Porter-Gaud stuff, Woodmont, Barnwell, all kinds of great stuff in the background. Appreciate you guys for taking care of us and helping us make this look a little bit better. We got to get John and Jerel set up next with some more stuff there too. But any final thoughts from you guys on 1A, 2A, or SCISA?
I think back at this time last year doing this show, and I feel similar to this year. We think we have some of this figured out, and I can't wait for week 3 or 4 of the season, and we see those big upsets. We see teams coming onto the scene. You know, it's we know who's got the talent. We know who the good coaches are and the good players. But every single year, there's surprises, you know, almost every week. And I'm really looking forward to that.
I love how John is including me because he's way smarter than me when it comes to this stuff, including me in the we portion of that. When we look at 1A, I think it's wide open when you get past Abbeville. Like, that's what's going to be exciting for me. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. 2A, the same thing. I think there's some proven talent, but there's a lot of unknowns, especially at vital positions like quarterback, even for these heavy hitters. So that'll work itself out, especially once we get into region play. And even into SCISA, I think that's going to be awesome to keep up with as well. There was some barbecue talk in the chat. I picked Batesburg-Leesville in 2A. I got kicked out from Sheely's, not you, Kevin, but they can never stop me. I have a Sheely shirt here. I'm a pig deal. I always rep. I even saw some Fort Grove love for Anderson there. That's a great restaurant. So if you're in that area, go check out Fort Grove as well. But this was a lot of fun. Thanks for dealing with my janky internet viewers. None of this was Kevin's fault. It was my hotel internet not coming through in the clutch.
Once again, still preseason for the boys. That's how it goes. So we'll get it figured out, man. But yeah, I'm excited. You guys, you mentioned it Lots of talented teams as always across the state. Lots of talented players. Lots of communities that I can't wait to get out and see this year and have you guys join us. As always, tell your friends, tell your family members, tell your co-workers to watch the show. You know, we'll do our show tomorrow night for 3A, 4A, 5A. But then starting next week, we'll be back on a regular schedule every Tuesday, weekly preview shows. We'll be ready to talk week 0 next Tuesday night. So join in for that. It's always more fun, always easier when you guys are commenting and engaging with us. So certainly hope you continue to do that with us this season. Help us grow this program, make it bigger and better. Jerel, any final comments from the chat right quick before we wrap up here? Any else coming while we were kind of just vibing here? Bradley, appreciate you, man. Look forward to tomorrow night. 3A, 4A, 5A, going to be a lot of fun. 7:15 again tomorrow, so join us for that one. Heard about the way they want to do realignment. Yeah, I want to say they're going back to 5 classes, I think, correct? And not going to split up 5A, I believe is what the story is going to be.
That would be great. I would love that.
You know, obviously we've got until I guess we got a while for this to happen, so we'll see. But anything else, Jerel?
That's it for the comments, guys. A lot of fun. Good tune-up. Ready to see what happens in these classes and ready to get cranked up the bigger classes tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, 7:15, 3A, 4A, 5A here on Facebook and on YouTube. Join us and let's talk some ball. But for Jerel Hendricks and John Epps, I'm Kevin Thomas. This has been our Moving the Chains 1A, 2A, and SCISA season preview show, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience. Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin The Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit Movin